Well, with playing that familiar theme song, it's time to go out to the other coast of the United States from New York and check out with Michael Snyder and see what's happening in the movies. Hello, Michael.
Hey, Alex, and hey, listeners. And yeah, there's movies opening, and actually at least one that I'm going to recommend big time, but let's get right to it. The Lego Movie 2, the second part, clearly is the proverbial film for the whole family, even if it goes on a bit too long and might be a bit of a slog for those who, like me, are not in love with the weird design of Lego figures, also known as minifigs, but that doesn't bother many people. I mean, I don't like Funko Pops or bobbleheads or fuzzy-headed troll dolls either, but in any event, to even begin to appreciate the Lego Movie 2, you really have to see the Lego Movie, which launched a franchise mixing computer and stop-motion animation for the kitty-skewed plastic building brick toy company and brought on the awesomely catchy theme song, Everything is Awesome. I mean, that was my favorite part of the first film. And honestly, my design issues aside, it was a surprise and a treat. It was breezy and funny and heartfelt, and it was written and directed by Phil Lord and Christopher Miller, who since then have presided over succeeding Lego movies, co-wrote this new one, and in Lord's case, co-wrote Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, which is probably going to win the animated movie Oscar this year. So these guys are not slouches. They're smart, and they're droll, and the scripts reflect that. Anyway, in the Lego Movie and Lego Movie 2, if you don't know, they are all about a lovable Lego everyman named Emmett, voiced by Chris Pratt. And he's going on a hero's journey quest in both films, along with a female warrior named Wildstyle, and some familiar branded characters, including Unikitty and a Lego Batman, who has become sort of a breakout character with his own Lego film, and he's back here. And there are other character and branded property tie-ins. And they're all about stopping, in the first film, Lord Business, voiced by Will Ferrell. And he makes an appearance in the second film. And I want to avoid any spoilers other than to say that there were forces beyond the control of the Lego universe denizens. And those forces come into play in both films. And the sequel picks up right where the first movie left off and moves forward a few years. Apparently, creatures comprised of Duplo bricks, those are the larger sized Legos aimed at young kids, come from outer space and invade and destroy Bricksburg, where the Lego people live, leading to more gags like a trashed Mad Max version of Bricksburg with a half-buried Lego Statue of Liberty, like Planet of the Apes style. There are a lot of little in-jokes there, and all spoilers aside, Emmett Wildstyle, Batman, and the rest are back with the same voice actors. A few new performers are on board, including Tiffany Haddish as Queen of the Alien Invaders. There are big-time voice cameos and a load of in-jokes, and some worthwhile things to say about family and sharing and respect for one's fellow creature. Look, when it comes to emotional impact, this is no Toy Story 3, and it isn't even the first Lego movie, but it's solid entertainment, and it's going to be must-see home viewing for the little ones like the first one. By the way, warning, as was the case with the Lego Movie and Everything is Awesome, the Lego Movie 2 has its own insidiously catchy song entitled Catchy Song, and I believe the refrain is, this song is going to get stuck inside your head, and it does. Okay, moving on to what would purportedly be more adult fare, but did get kind of infantile, What Men Want. If you saw a Nancy Meyers fantasy rom-com, What Women Want, with Mel Gibson in his kind of pre-racist anti-Semite rant days, you might remember it's about a typically loutish male chauvinist who gets bonked on the head and can suddenly hear women's thoughts, and he takes advantage of the gifts until he learns how to be a better man. Well, What Men Want is simply a flip of that script. It does cast the great Taraji P. Henson as an ambitious workaholic female sports agent in competition with the male coworkers at the agency. Thwarted when she tries to make a full partner, she gets an advantage in signing a kid who's a sure number one pick for the NBA when she's hit on the head and can now hear what men are thinking. This also impacts her love life when she meets a handsome single dad, and she starts abusing her newfound gifts with the expected results. Henson is game and plays the comedy pretty broad. And she's such a good actress that she sells the half-baked dramatic turns. You also get Tracy Morgan as the basketball phenom's meddling father, Josh Brenner, Silicon Valley's big head, as her gay assistant, Max Greenfield as a rival agent, Richard Roundtree, Pete Davidson, Erykah Badu. What you don't get are many, if any, laughs. And this is supposed to be a romantic comedy directed by Adam Shankman, whose best-known work would be The Wedding Planner and the movie version of Hairspray. This is, not great. As a matter of fact, those other two films seem like When Harry Met Sally in Chicago compared to What Men Want. All right, finally, the film I can really unabashedly endorse, Cold Pursuit. It's a very good English-language remake of director Hans-Petter Molen's darkly funny and violent 2014 Norwegian film In Order of Disappearance. A chilly town in the Rocky Mountains takes over for the small Norwegian backwater of the original, and Liam Neeson, despite any unpleasantness in recent interviews, takes over for Stellan Skarsgård as the lead character. Neeson plays Nels, a taciturn snowplow driver who diligently keeps the roads clear when the storms rage, and then he goes home to a quiet life with his wife, here played by Laura Dern, until their laid-back, seemingly normal son dies of an ostensible overdose, and the plowman sets out on a mission of revenge. The resulting carnage embroils a rich city mobster and a crew of Native Americans involved in shady dealings. Any more discussion would ruin the pleasures of this movie. Molen is back to direct what is an extremely faithful version of his original, which has such a solid plot and scene structure that the necessary changes brought by changing the setting just lock right in, and that's good. Whether you've seen the original or not, Cold Pursuit is a romp amid crime and punishment that will tickle anyone who can dig their thrillers and shoot-'em-ups with a little wit. Finally, a disappointment. Everybody knows. And everybody knows Penelope Cruz is Laura, a married woman and mother of two, who lives with her husband in Argentina and returns to her hometown in Spain for her sister's wedding. And there she encounters her ex, Paco, played by Javier Bardem. I mean, wow. Cruz and Bardem sounds like fireworks. I mean, it's a little uncomfy when she gets there, and gets worse when her eldest daughter is kidnapped during the big party after the wedding, and secrets from the past and the present are revealed to everyone's distress. I mean, thanks to Cruz and Bardem, it was somewhat engaging, and I was kind of caught up in the mystery of the kidnapping, but I expected more from Iranian writer-director Asghar Farhadi, whose previous film drama, The Salesman, was just fantastic. I hope his next film is more in line with The Salesman than everybody knows. What are you watching, buddy?
Netflix. I watched a very easy to watch, binge watch, 8-episode turn. Each episode is only 25 minutes, called Russian Doll, which is with Natasha Lyonne, and is really very, very. It gets you if you stick with it. It really gets you, and you get hooked in. It's kind of like Groundhog Day in a way. Girl wakes up or is in a bathroom, goes out. It's her birthday party. She goes out and then she gets killed, and the next thing she knows, she's back in the bathroom again. And this goes on and on and on, and she keeps dying. And it really is. I found it grabbed me. I watched every episode like potato chips, very fast, 25 minutes each. In less than 4 hours, you binge watch the whole series. So I suggest Russian Doll. That's my
Heard good things about it. Also, a little reminiscent of Happy Death Day. I assume I don't want to ruin anything, but I assume she tries to prevent her own death after she begins realizing she's caught in a loop.
Well, she tries to find out why it's happening, too. But anyway, tell them where they can find you, Michael.
I'm on Twitter at Culture Blaster, on Facebook at Michael Snyder's Culture Blast page, and I'm going to go watch Russian Doll.
Okay, and that's it for me for this week too. If you're listening to us 24/7, there's more GABNet coming right up, and Mike will be back with us again next week.